Hey there, and welcome to Marina's Movie Club, podcast where we talk about all of our favorite movies. My name is Ethan. I'm your producer and co-host, and with me, as always, is my beautiful film school sweetheart and the namesake of the podcast, Marina.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm good, too.
Good.
Thanks for asking.
You didn't let me ask.
Oh, okay. I assumed you were going to ask, so I just kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Nice. How you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. Me too.
A little tired. But...
Well, there's an echo in here.
Oh. Well.
No, I asked the same question again.
Oh.
Get it?
Sorry.
Ha.
We moved recording locations so that there wouldn't be an echo.
Right.
So then I got worried.
Yet, when I repeat myself, there is still an echo, no matter what. Hey, you, since our last recording, are tattooed.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Should you tell everybody what your tattoos are?
No, they're secret.
Oh, they're secret tattoos?
Well, I don't know. Like, come talk to me if you want to talk to me about my tattoos.
Well, what about our listener in Zimbabwe who can't come talk to you? Are you actually going to keep it a secret?
I don't know. It just feels like too
they're very
special
personal.
to just tell.
Well,
like,
you're not the type of
public.
person who is just getting a tattoo, going up to the tattoo parlor and being like, whatever you want on this spot of my body, go for it.
Yeah.
Some people do that.
Yeah.
But your tattoos are very meaningful.
Yeah.
And sweet.
Yeah.
So I like them.
Thank you.
Which is great. I think they look really, really good.
I like them too.
They're very minimal and like well designed. So that's what I like about them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I say that I chose the font for one of your tattoos?
Well, yes, you can say that.
Nice.
But you'd be wrong.
Oh,
because remember,
yeah, I guess so. Well,
he didn't have the font.
Which is fine. It looks close enough.
No, it does. I really like the font that it's in, but it's funny because it's such a normal font that I asked for, and he was like, where did you find that?
Yeah, it was Futura, which is one of the most famous fonts.
Yeah, you can find it in Microsoft Word and Canva. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny because he was like, what's that font? And I was like, I just show me a font that's similar to this. Like,
also, fun fact, it's the font that the name Marina is in the art of our podcast.
Yeah.
So if you want to know what the font looks like, just look at that art and then think about that in lowercase. And there you go.
That's what I have tattooed on my arm. Got our logo tattooed.
That's fun. Well, one housekeeping thing that I wanted to mention is that if you're listening to this right now, we could mail you a free sticker.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everybody more about it?
Okay, yeah. So if you review us on Apple Podcasts.
Right. Or Spotify.
Yes. Spotify, you can only leave stars, a star review.
Oh, interesting.
But I guess we'll allow it.
Sure. So, anything helps.
Yeah. Or maybe even if you share on your Instagram stories.
Yeah, tag us on your Instagram story.
Yeah. And then just take a screenshot of whatever you do and then go to either the show notes or our Instagram and you'll see a little link for a form.
Yep. Fill out that form and then you upload that screenshot, which is the proof of your review or you spreading the word. And we will personally mail you a handwritten note and a sticker. Yeah. It's really cool.
We can't promise the note will be pretty, but we can promise the sticker is pretty.
But here's the deal. This is only open to the first 100 people that share or leave a review. So you got to be the first, up to number 100, and then we're not sending any more free stickers. I'm not a charity out here. I do other things for charity. This is not one of them.
There will only be 102 of these stickers created.
Yes, 100 for you, 2 for Marina and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 for me.
Oh, I don't get any.
No.
Yeah, I'm stupid. Why would I get one of those? Why would I think of that? Man. Well, the sticker is going to say, "My life is a movie." And it's really pretty and fun.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
It'll be cool. Yeah. So if you want to sport our first run of merchandise, be one of the first 100 people to review our podcast and fill out that form. And we'll send it to you.
Nice.
That'll be really fun. Yeah. Well, today we are talking about Kings of Summer, which is one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top 10.
Yeah, actually, it is physically on my top 10 list on Letterboxd. So if you go on our Letterboxd, which is Marina, or no, it's Movie Club Pod. Yeah. Can we change it to be the same?
They didn't have it.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I got the closest one.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So
maybe, if we get enough patrons, we can buy it from someone.
Oh, sure. Well,
as of right now, I do not have the funds.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah.
So Movie Club Pod, go on there. You can see my top 10 movies of all time. Number 9 is Kings of Summer, which we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Just watched it last night.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I think that's my 3rd time watching the movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
It was my first time.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will withhold your review until the very end.
Yeah.
We'll talk a
that's
lot
fair.
about the movie, and then you can give your final thoughts at the end. But without further ado, Kings of Summer. Kings of Summer is an indie coming-of-age comedy about Joe Toy, who escapes the tyranny of his single father by running away and making his own life in the woods with his best friend Patrick and a really weird kid named Biagio. The film was first screened at the 2013 Sundance Film Festival and was a Grand Jury Prize nominee. Kings of Summer was directed by Jordan Vogt-Roberts and written by Chris Galletta, starring Nick Robinson as Joe, Gabriel Basso as Patrick, and Moises Arias as Biagio. And Nick Offerman plays Joe's dad. I didn't know a lot of the cast the first time I saw the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second time I saw it, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I think I know a few of those guys. And now the third time that I watched it, kind of years later after consuming more media,
Yeah.
it's a pretty star-studded cast for
It
an indie
really
film.
is.
I was really
I
surprised.
mean, I wonder how star-studded it technically was in 2013. I mean, Parks and Rec was out, I think.
Yeah, Parks and Rec.
Hannah Montana, of course, was out by then.
Right.
Which I just want to say, when I saw that Moises Arias was in this, I was expecting him to play like a completely different character than he actually played in this movie. Like, he's so weird.
He's
Which I don't know.
really
It
weird.
fits, and he's so good at it.
Yeah,
but
they
it
wrote his
also is
character
just
well,
like,
but
I didn't think he was going to be like the outcast, like, kid that, I don't know, just so different than Hannah Montana.
right. Yeah, it's a very different character, but I guess it's, credit to his performance as being able to adapt into a completely different role.
Yeah.
Because
so
you're
good
right.
in
I
that
actually
movie.
only know him as Hannah Montana, but
As
he
Hannah
is.
Montana, yeah.
Wait, no, in Hannah Montana. Did I say as?
Yeah.
No, he does not play Hannah. He is not Miley Cyrus. That is not what I'm confused about. But yeah, he's really good. He's a huge comedic function in the whole film. But if you go, I would recommend right now, pause the podcast and go look up the trailer for Kings of Summer. Film was in 2013, and there's a really funny joke at the very end of the trailer that I would just love for you to experience. I won't, paraphrase it here. I just want you to go laugh at it. Well, also, I guess I should bring up, on a scale of like 0 being the most PC and 10 being the most offensive, I would say it's like a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
It's not like they're making fun of people. It's just like they bring up things that...
It was made in 2013.
It was made in 2013, right?
That's the problem.
But it was still really funny. So anyways, all that said...
well, first we should say welcome back from watching the trailer.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's good. Thanks for listening to what I said and going to watch the trailer.
Yeah.
Whenever I listen to a podcast and they say, oh, you should look up a photo of this, or oh, you should go watch... I've never done it a single time.
I'm almost always like driving or cleaning when I listen to podcasts.
That's true.
So I'm not going to like stop and go do that.
That's actually, this is a good time for me to shout out my favorite podcast, which is called Stuff You Should Know.
Yeah.
And it's a very broad podcast. It's just about different stuff that you should know. Just stuff in general. And there are a lot of times where I actually, now that I think of it, I don't know what they're talking about, or it's like an animal or something that I've never heard of before. So I'm not going to look up the animal before I watch it.
I do that with the animals too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With
Your
Tooth
favorite
and Claw.
podcast, Tooth and Claw,
Yeah.
which shout out Tooth and Claw. If you ever want to collab with us,
Please.
please. That would be a dream come true.
I
For
know
us. We have one
It's
episode.
a different genre.
We have one episode though that is
Yeah.
a perfect crossover of both
Yeah.
of our genres, and it would be beautiful.
We're saving it for you
So
whenever you.
If any of you know the guys at Tooth and Claw, we love you. and come talk to us. Okay.
Nicholas is making fun of me right now. I know that.
Well, so this film was directed by Jordan Vogt-Roberts. And have you ever heard of him?
No, I just know that it's his first feature.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
This is his very first feature film.
Yeah.
Before this, he had only done some shorts and a couple videos and like a couple TV episodes. First full-length feature.
Yeah.
Since then, guess
Okay,
what he's
I was
also
gonna
directed?
Can I have a hint?
It is a long-running film franchise about an animal.
Paddington. I don't know.
Not Paddington.
I don't know.
It's about a really, really, really big animal.
Clifford. What? I don't know. A really big animal.
Yeah, a really big gorilla.
Planet of the Apes?
A really big gorilla.
Oh my gosh.
King Kong.
King Kong.
Kong Skull Island. He directed.
Oh, I'm embarrassed.
But you were close with Paddington.
I was really
It's essentially the
close.
same film.
I was really close. I was going to say, speaking of Tooth and Claw, two of Jeff's favorite movies are Paddington and King Kong.
Wow.
They're like,
It's like
they
they're
are
here
the same.
with us.
It is.
That's crazy.
It's perfect.
Well, another thing that he has since been directing is a TV show called You're the Worst, which does not look like my cup of tea. Doesn't look like your cup of tea.
What's it about?
Like
I'll Google it.
a really self-destructive, depressed couple
That sounds like
that are going to therapy, and their therapist is like a side character in it. But whenever they're depressed, it looks like they just do some self-destructive tendencies. So
yeah, these initial pictures that I'm seeing, I think are kind of giving me anxiety.
sure, maybe like the main character experiences.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of that said, don't knock it till you try it, I guess, but I'm probably not going to try it. So that's the other things that he's directed. But yeah, I just thought it was crazy that his very first feature
Yeah.
nominated for Best Picture at Sundance.
Yeah, I know.
Really cool. Also had to Google what the Grand Jury Award at Sundance meant. Did you already know that?
Well, it's just kind of like a film festival thing.
Oh yeah, only film people would.
Oh, yeah,
You would
yeah.
probably only know if you had a podcast about
Yeah.
movies or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous. How embarrassing if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, this movie I saw for the first time when I was in a hotel, I think. And I think it was just like one of the free options of movies to watch. And I watched the trailer and I was like, looks funny. And then I watched it and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I think it was right kind of in the beginning of me getting into movies. And I've always loved indie movies because I think they take
Yeah,
a sense
they're
of
so
creative liberty and freedom that Hollywood features don't do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just something magical about indie films. I really, really
I
like
love
it.
indie films.
I know. I've always wanted to make one.
Which
I think it's still a
also,
dream of mine.
Speaking of, oh yeah, still a dream of mine too. We're going to the Bend Film Festival.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
in a couple weeks.
right.
Really.
I've never heard of the Bend Film Festival. Do you know how large and like are big names going to be there?
It's pretty big. Like in terms of films, it's not like Venice or Sundance or whatever.
Sure.
But there's a lot of Sundance movies that are going to be there also. So they've already obviously premiered like 9 months ago, but
Oh, okay.
they're still, I don't know, big indie movies.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It'll be so
that'll
fun.
be fun.
We actually won Marina won the tickets from Letterboxd
Yeah.
on
Crazy.
an Instagram giveaway.
Yeah.
So
I really
shout
didn't
out
think I was
Letterboxd.
going to win, obviously, because it was Letterboxd.
Yeah, you never
and
think you're going to
so
win
many
one of those
people
things.
enter. Yeah. So
Kind of
now
sweet.
I get to go.
Anyways, if you're going to be at the Bend Film Festival, DM us on Instagram and maybe we'll come say hi.
Yeah.
We could feature you in the podcast.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. That'd be so fun. So, anyways, one of the reasons why I felt like this movie just hit that nerve of like, oh, it's so magical and indie, was the opening scene.
Okay.
You remember it? They're drumming. It's kind of very out of context coming into the movie. It's
Yeah, because
three
then
kids.
it goes to like 1 month earlier or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's three kids drumming on a pipe. And then it has that title card where it says 1 month earlier, and then it goes into real life of what's happening in that point in the movie going forward. I wanted to play the audio clip and then talk about that part because I think it has a motif throughout the rest of the movie. Okay, ready?
Joe!
Okay, so something that I learned in film school is that when an audio leads a transition, it's called a J cut. And it's because in the editing timeline, the audio clip is longer than the video clip, and it kind of makes the shape of a J in your timeline editor. So, because, on the left side, longer than the top. Okay, so that J cut one, I just thought was so indie and so pretty, and it transitioned perfectly from the drumming to Joe's dad knocking on the door. And I just thought that was so fun.
Yeah.
The other thing that I noticed was that it kind of starts this trend of Joe going into his daydreaming land, which is Joe's the main character. He's I think he's 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
He's in high school, and he's always going into this daydream. And it starts with him daydreaming about this love interest. Her name's Kelly.
Yeah.
It's just her in a field of flowers. And he's dreaming about her as he's in the shower and his dad's yelling from the outside, but he keeps trying to retreat back to this place of dreaming about Kelly. So, but I thought the funniest thing was that he was doing it all with a mohawk shaped out of his shampoo.
Yeah.
And who has not made a mohawk in the shower? Have you made a mohawk in the shower?
My hair wouldn't do that.
I guess it's a boy experience.
Yeah.
Because of course I've done it. And I was like so relatable that was, I don't know. I think it also does a really good job of setting the tone of how well I thought they were portraying the experience of being a teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a film that's starring 25-year-olds. It's
as 15-year-olds.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actual 15-year-olds having a 15-year-old experience. And the plot of the movie goes on to have Joe and his friends run away and make a house in the woods. And one of my best friends growing up, he lived on a cul-de-sac, and then opposite that side of the cul-de-sac that he was at the very end, was a wash where the storm drain goes. And
is that a thing in places that aren't California?
I haven't seen it a lot. I guess California has a lot of really, really big storm drains.
It's like a concrete half pipe kind of looking thing.
Yeah. Okay, so
if that's helpful to people.
Right, yeah. It's a huge concrete half pipe, but it's gated off because they have a lot of flash floods in California. And if you're stuck inside of it when a giant rush of water comes, there's a lot of people that die doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's kind of common.
Oh, yeah.
So anyways, we would go to the storm drain, not inside of it, but next to it, there's this big bush and tree combo. And if you stood at his front lawn and looked at it, it looked like the state of Virginia almost perfectly. It just like the outline of it. So we called it Virginia. And we would go over there, and then behind that big tree bush combo, and so between that and the fence, there was so many times as a kid we went there and we just made a fort.
Yeah.
And we, were whittling sticks and I don't know, just doing fun stuff. But it was always my dream to go just do that. And I feel like there's an innate teenage sensation or dream of gotta go out. And so anyways, I think the sound design specifically of him going back and forth between dreaming and reality goes on a lot. And there's this sound design technique called a drone, not one that you fly, but it's just like a droning sound. And
makes sense.
The thing that I noticed was that the drones in this movie sounded like you were kind of plugging your ears and you could hear the blood rushing through your head a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not like a heartbeat. It's more like that low tone of just, I literally think it's blood when you plug your ears with the little flaps on the front.
Yeah.
and you hear your blood. So it's kind of like you're in your head, you're daydreaming.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really
That's cool.
unique. And it was just a very subtle thing. It wasn't like
Yeah.
on the nose. It wasn't very obvious, but I think that's the drone that they had chosen to do several times throughout the film.
Yeah.
The other thing that I had noticed, again, a pretty subtle thing, but during that opening sequence, it shows Joe going to school, and he is continuing to, just go about his life. The depth of field is very shallow. So there's basically only like one thing in focus, and it's Joe. And then the rest of the school behind him, or people walking by, or plants or buildings are all very blurry until he bumps into his crush, Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like he's very distanced, very in his own head until like there's his crush, and then it's like everything's back. You know? So I think from the beginning you kind of think that it's going to be a whole movie about Kelly, and I guess it goes in that direction. But the themes of the movie are so much more about a teenager gaining independence and becoming a man than it is about the girl.
Yeah, like Kelly is a very big part of the movie, but it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
Like when I think about the plot, I kind of forget about her.
Yeah. Right. I know. I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but I don't think this is an episode where we need to give spoilers to, share our thoughts and a review and everything about it. So I'd highly recommend going to watch it after. Like, this is, I think, is a very underrated film.
Yeah. And we're not spoiling it mainly because we're assuming you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a random movie.
Right. It's not like, Transformers or something where, I guess I'm aging myself a little bit. I feel like when Transformers came out when I was in middle school, and just everybody watched Transformers. So anyways, I would say go watch it. And even if you listen to the whole thing and I would say this is more fun because you get to like have, my insights ahead of time, and you can notice those things if that's not something that you usually notice. So I don't know. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
So another thing that I loved was all of the foreshadowing that was in the movie.
Yeah.
So 3 places where I noticed it. One was with the game of Monopoly.
Yeah.
So Monopoly as a game, which as a board game, like I'm not an enthusiast to the point of some friends that I have, but I like board games a lot.
Board game appreciator.
Yeah. We have a growing board game library at home.
Yeah.
Monopoly as a game designed to be bad. Like, it's not a well-balanced game where like, anybody could win at any point. It's very random, and it was literally created to teach people about the way the American money system works and capitalism.
One note on Monopoly in this game. Have I been playing Monopoly wrong? Because I don't play it the way they play it.
Oh, where you can just openly trade at any point?
Yeah, they just trade things.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever played a full game of Monopoly, to be honest.
Okay, well, similar to Uno, I think Monopoly is one of those games that has an infinite amount of house rules.
Yeah.
And then, I've seen people where every time there's like a free parking thing where it's like every time something happens on the board, you put a certain amount of money down in the middle of the board, and then if you land on free parking, you get all of the money in the middle.
Oh,
but that's not in the rules, fun. Otherwise, free parking is just like an empty.
Yeah, I think that's the point of the space, is it does nothing.
You do nothing.
Yeah.
So I've had friends that made something very exciting out of it. And it's kind of like a lottery where you pitch in, and then at some point somebody cashes out because they landed on free parking.
Spicy Monopoly, like spicy Uno.
Yeah, every time the term spicy Uno comes up, I just think someone's playing strip Uno. Because I can't think of it apart from like a spicy scene
go
in a
together.
book. No, they don't.
Yeah.
That would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And anyways, you're right. They don't go together at all.
Children's
a
game.
Children's game and spicy, I think should be those terms should be separated.
Yeah, I don't know who coined it, spicy Uno, but there were better words we could have used. But here we are.
Okay.
It's okay.
So similar to spicy Monopoly. They do this trading system. And I don't know. I've never played that way either.
Yeah.
But Joe's dad, who's played by Nick Offerman, which is just such a great casting decision for a dad. Yeah. It's just so perfect.
I know.
It's just...
and that dad.
Yeah, specifically.
The dad that he plays, yeah.
Yeah. So he's a single dad. They don't have a mom. Mom passed away. And the new girlfriend of Joe's dad is going to come over, and then he's like, hey, I want to bring back family board game nights. And I think choosing Monopoly as the game had a great little like wink and a nod to, because Monopoly as a game, it's like the theme of it is like the rich squeezing out the poor who can't really do anything about it. And like the richer you get, the more in control you get. And then the poor people like you just can't win at a certain point. But it's because somebody got lucky and got rich. They were able to buy a string of properties and then put a house and then put a hotel. And then you're just suffering because you're under the rule of that one guy who has a monopoly. But in the same way, it's kind of like in this movie, it's like the adults are the rich and the kids are the poor. And then they're just kind of like at the mercy of whatever the adults are doing in their life. So I thought that was really interesting. And again, another thing where I just like, I think they did a really good job. I don't know. Again, this is on my top 10. I guess this is like me communicating all my thoughts to you. And like, this is less of, Marina's movie club today. It's more of Ethan's movie club.
That's okay.
At Marina. But, no, I really think personally, they did a great job at capturing the feelings of, I've never been a person who's like, goody two shoes, loves authority figures, like doesn't want to disappoint people. I feel like very against all of that.
Can't relate.
Two types of people. But I think I connected so much personally with Joe's character. So I think that feeling of the frustration of the game of Monopoly translating into real life is just like so true to me as a teenager. So also, I wasn't the best teenager. Just throwing that out there as like I think that's why I relate to this so much. Because have you ever tried running away from home?
No.
I have. I think I did it twice. Once lasted for like 5 minutes. Once lasted for like 3 hours. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody has my stories weren't very like fun or exciting or cute. They were both when I was like a teenager. Oh my god! So
Did I tell you about when my mom tried running away?
I think I know this, but tell me again.
She's the youngest of 8 kids.
Okay.
So she tried running away, but she ran away in her basement and hid behind like the washing machine or something.
Right.
For like hours and waited for someone to come find her, and no one noticed that she was gone.
Oh no! No one noticed.
So sad. But there were too many kids. Like,
how many kids are in her family?
9.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no wonder nobody noticed.
I know.
There's 9 kids there.
Yeah.
Goodness. Well, the Monopoly translating, I just thought it was great. It was great.
I also,
but also
I
because
hadn't thought about, thought about like the rules of Monopoly, I guess, as being a like foreshadowing kind of thing or symbolism.
Yeah, how so?
But like I had not thought about it. But I just was thinking just about how Monopoly is known as like the game that tears families apart and like ruins relationships.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Funny, yeah. And it's such a funny game to like, it makes sense for the movie, but then also my Letterboxd review was like, this is just an ad for like why you should not play Monopoly.
Yeah, it's just a very drawn out story of how Monopoly tears friendships and families apart. But it's, again, I think it's a story vehicle that was used really well. So anyways, I loved that. Another foreshadowing feature that I saw as really good was Patrick, who is the best friend in the film. So before they go into the woods, so they decided to run away from home because their parents were just being tyrannical and awful. So he turns to Joe.
His problem is his parents love him too much. I think is the problem.
Wait, his parents were such good characters.
They're so funny.
Whoever,
do we have time to talk about that right now?
Oh yeah, like whoever acted. I don't know the actors' names. As Patrick's parents were so funny. They were
so good.
Yeah,
and it's just like so, like obviously. I don't know any actual parents that are like that intense, like how they were, but I feel like they're probably relatable to anyone who has like parents who were involved in their lives when they were teenagers, They're just like so nosy, but like because they really care. And then
I know,
like
they just love their kids.
It's so funny.
And
but I was annoyed at them also.
I know. As a teenager, you're just like, oh, shut up, Mom. Don't tell me you love me.
I know. It's so sad.
So this is right before they are fully pulling the trigger on like, we're going to go live in the woods. We're going to, cut our own meat that we hunt. We're going to build our own house. We're going to be men. So Patrick turns to Joe and he says, before I ever make a decision, I ask God to send a bad omen if I'm not supposed to follow through with it, just in case. I know it's dumb. You don't have to do it, but it's just a thing that I do. And one, I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing to do in life.
I mean, yeah.
But two, I just thought it was so funny, the timing, because they're like, okay, let's do it. Let's we'll let God talk to us if he really doesn't want us to do this. And then it gets really tense and the camera moves in and there's a riser and it goes, and then there's a big lightning strike. It goes, and then Joe is like, all right, let's go. And then they just walk into the woods and then they completely ignore the bad omen. And so I think it's a very on the nose way. And it's a joke. And I think you forget about it very fast. Yeah. But it's also foreshadowing.
It is true.
But it's a true foreshadowing of what will actually happen. It wasn't just in there as a joke.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really funny. And then the other one that was kind of, at first you think, well, maybe this is just B-roll, but then it comes back a couple more times and you're like, oh, I don't know. Is it just B-roll or is it snakes? Yeah. Snake skin. Yeah. Snake crawling over the log. Yeah. So, there's just some danger in the woods out there, man. Yeah. Yeah. You never know what's going to come.
What's his name? Patrick? He actually finds the snake skin. So I think it makes the snake more important than like the other animals that are in the B-roll.
Right. Yeah. 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 It's kind of mentioned. Some other things that I thought were great were the character design of Joe.
Okay. Yeah.
Joe as a character, again, is just Ethan as a 15-year-old. But further than that, I think the beautiful thing that they do throughout the film is that he kind of, is just following the trope of a main character having a dead parent. Yeah. Every main character has to have a dead parent.
Yeah, they need trauma.
They need trauma to move forward in life.
Yeah, and it's easier to deal with one parent as a writer than two.
Yeah, because we know what happens when you have two parents. They love their children too much,
and they become nosy.
They become too nosy, like Patrick's parents in the movie. But anyways, so that's just every good character has to have a dead parent. The other one is that this tension that he shares with his dad is another piece of foreshadowing, because kind of towards the end of the film, the character arc is like, you're becoming who you never wanted to be. And in this case, it's his dad.
You're becoming your parents.
Yeah.
Progressive.
Oh my gosh, that's we have to talk about
our
that.
favorite ads.
It's like a TV show that we watch is the progressive ads with the doctor who is like a therapist who helps you helps you not become your parents. Dr. Rick. Yes. Yeah, Dr. Rick.
So funny. Like every time there's a new commercial out, we like yell at the other person to like come watch it. Right. We're like
we could always like
so into it.
Watch them on YouTube. But it's just such a thing to like run into it on Hulu and they're like,
it came out.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
good.
It is like a series that we watch. I think they're really funny.
Okay, one more foreshadowing thing.
Okay.
Sort of.
Yeah.
When they're playing Monopoly, like, I don't want to spoil this too much.
Okay.
So let me know if I'm spoiling it. But they're playing Monopoly at the beginning, family game night, which also family game night consists of the dad, Frank, and then Joe, and then the girlfriend, and then Joe's sister and her
boyfriend.
Boyfriend?
Yes.
Okay. Her boyfriend is so funny. This isn't the foreshadowing thing, but I just want to talk about the boyfriend for a second because he's so funny. He's like, will do anything to impress Frank, and Frank is like just like an objectively rude person.
Right.
Like, he's sad. I feel like the mom passed away like not very long ago, and none of them like really know how to deal with it. so Frank is like just very sad and like stressed because he has this like rebelling child and doesn't know what to do with his life.
Right.
But the boyfriend is like obsessed with him because he wants him to like
do
him,
anything
you know?
to please the father.
And it's just like so funny. So funny. But they were like trying to make some sort of deal and Joe was annoyed with them. So then Frank was like, the men are talking or like something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was during the Monopoly game.
Yeah, during Monopoly. And then when they play Monopoly later, Joe says that.
Yeah.
Because he's becoming like his dad.
I
know.
And he ran away from home to get
Yeah.
away from him.
Mm-hmm.
But really, he was right here whole time.
In his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. His dad was in his heart?
Bummer. I know.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think the character struggle throughout the film was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit more on the nose than I think some other character developments happen in other movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's a fun thing to point out. If you choose to go watch it, just pay attention to Joe becoming his father throughout the film. It's really interesting. And the other thing was just that girls ruin everything. Just
Sorry.
Yeah. What the heck, man?
I was going to make a joke and say like on behalf of womankind, I'm sorry. But at the same time, I think men ruin it for women more.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Men suck.
Yeah.
You know what I learned from this? People suck.
People do suck, but also
people are great.
Yeah, and family is important and friends are important.
Wow, and that's really that's the moral of the story.
It's
about
really
the friends that we made along the way.
It always is.
But also the other thing is that I don't actually mean that women ruin everything. I just meant that in the movie, the love interest, Kelly, just comes in and gets in between them. And I feel like that's also a common trope of just like a girl getting between two guys.
Yeah, I do think, okay, this was one thing I wanted to talk about. I do think the way that Kelly did it was, I don't want to say good, but like she wasn't trying to be malicious and like get in between them. I don't think.
No.
I think she genuinely, well, I don't need to spoil that, but I think she was trying to be genuine and she didn't know what she was doing.
Right.
But my problem with like most indie high school films is that they almost always have this love interest that's like the popular girl. And then the protagonist is like just a dork, like freshman.
Average Joe.
No one, literally average Joe.
Oh, that's the main character's name. Oh my gosh.
And then somehow they're like friends, even though the popular girl has a boyfriend.
Oh,
but
right.
like the popular girl has this weird like infatuation with the main character. And I never get it. Like it's never explained why they're friends. Because he's kind of weird around her.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's like, sure you can like have friends, but like, I don't think she's the same age as them. And he was a freshman and she invited him to a party.
But they were all under 21.
No, I know that. But like, what like junior girl is like inviting a freshman boy to a party?
I guess so.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
It didn't seem like unbelievable that they were friends or anything to me. But I do think there are worse examples of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Of just like an ultra popular, like beautiful girl just somehow falling in love with the most unlikely boy ever. But I don't think that's exactly what this is.
Maybe it's just overdone and it was annoying me at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it is an overdone trope.
Yeah.
But without getting into it, because that is as you could probably tell from the opening scene, a really important part of the story. There is just this one scene where Joe's heart is broken. And it, I think, is one of the best portrayals of teenage heartbreak in cinema.
Wow. Yeah.
I don't know. It was so like real and like I was able to empathize with him. I do feel like
I was, through a lot of the movie, I don't want to say I didn't empathize with him, but like I just didn't relate as much as you probably did being a boy, like, and having the same, like, similar childhood experiences, I guess. But yeah, when during that scene, I feel like I connected to him like the most. And I was like, obviously have not been in that same situation, but the aftermath of it, I feel like I've done the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, just, man, it was so sad. But I do think the way they portrayed it was really beautiful. They did this neat camera trick, and it was just like, oh, man. Again, I won't talk too much about it.
You'll know the scene when you get there.
Go watch the movie because it's so good. Okay. Well, anyways, I think that's about all that I can say without completely spoiling the film.
I have one more thing.
Okay, great.
I think maybe only one more. But going back to the sound that you talked about at the beginning.
Yeah.
Have we talked about diegetic sound on the podcast before?
I don't think so.
Okay. So diegetic sound is sound that comes, like that the characters can hear. That comes from the movie.
Right.
Okay. And then non-diegetic is stuff that comes from outside of the world of the film. So like music that's added in post that like the characters can't hear. Yeah. I want to say like almost half of the music type stuff is diegetic in this movie.
Oh,
because there's a lot of, so the parts that I really liked were obviously that beginning one that you talked about. But then also Patrick plays the fiddle or violin or whatever he's playing.
Oh, right. I remember that.
And he's just like out in the woods playing it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Which also I just feel like it's because he's like practicing, like, because that's what he does at home, you know? But then it cuts between that scene of him playing it and then the dads fishing together, like talking about their kids missing.
Yeah.
And so that is like the soundtrack over that scene of the dads. And it comes from the other group of people.
Right.
And then they do it later where, I don't know what his name is, but the boyfriend who's trying to impress Frank.
Oh, okay.
Is like in an a cappella group and then he wants to sing for him.
Oh, yeah. Like serenades Frank.
Starts singing to him.
Right.
And then that plays over the other group. I don't remember what they're doing. I thought I wrote it down.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember exactly what they were doing, but I do think that when it's done in reverse, where you're listening to music and you think it's the score, and then it's revealed that it is diegetic sound, where it's something that was actually happening in the story, that's always like really clever and magical. And it's like, oh, wow, I didn't, and that's kind of fun because you think it's the score and then you realize like, oh, the characters also heard that.
Yeah.
But this was kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
Where it shows you someone is like either playing the fiddle or singing, and then they use that as the score for the next portion of the film.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's so interesting because it also like ties together the two different worlds
of the people who ran away and the people who are searching for them.
Yeah.
It's the kids who want to escape and the parents who love them too much to let them.
Cute. Yeah. He's singing over Joe daydreaming about Kelly, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
And I feel like there's symbolism with what the song was about, but right now I can't remember what the song was about.
I don't think it was symbolism. I think it was on the nose. I think it was like
about
it was a girl who was perfect and the boy couldn't get her to fall in love with him.
Yeah, something like really sad.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, I would say, of course, it's on my top 10. I would recommend it to anybody. But if this movie about kids running away and a prolonged Monopoly game sounds interesting to you, and you want to laugh your butt off at Biagio, who just has...
we didn't even talk about Biagio except at the beginning.
He's the funniest character.
Is Moises Arias.
Yeah. His name is Biagio, and that's just a funny name in general.
I think, just the name alone.
It encapsulates his character.
Yeah, it really does.
But they give him, the writing was just so good.
So good.
Shout out to Chris Galletta, the writer. Man, just made such a funny character. And even during the movie, Joe and Patrick were just like, why are you here? Like, how did you get to be, they met him like the day before and they're
and
like,
just kept showing up.
And then he just kept showing up and they're like, okay, now you're here. And it's just such a funny character.
I know, he's such a good, like, I feel like that character exists in a lot of movies. It's like kind of the weird guy who doesn't have any friends and wants to be like overly like helpful to like get the friends.
Right.
But it's just done so much better than in so many other movies.
Right.
and he's like so funny.
There's so much comedic payoff with
yeah.
his. I would love to quote every joke, but then I would ruin it for you. So go watch the movie, and I promise you'll laugh. It's so funny. Well, that's all of my thoughts on the film. It's in my top 10. It's number 9 total.
Do you think it stays at number 9?
I don't know. I think I have to revisit that top 10 list every little while.
Well,
and
that's
just
why
reassess it.
I'm currently in the process of making mine.
Oh, okay.
But because we put them on Letterboxd, so then I put yours on our Instagram because, and I want to do that with mine too. I just haven't finalized it, but I know that they're going to change. Like,
yeah, it's a living list.
Movies. Yeah. So I just kind of thought it'd be cool to put like our current top 10, and then maybe like in a year or something, we'll do like what's changed.
Wow. I would be, I mean, I guess I won't be impressed because I'm watching significantly more movies now that we're doing this podcast.
Yeah.
But I remember as I was coming up with that top 10 list, I was like, well, like what, I'm just going to list out every movie that I like. And I think I got to like 13. And then I was able to weed out the last 3 to get to 10. But now that we're keeping track of everything, I think it'll be a lot easier for me to remember like what is in my top 10 and why, and make it a really solid list.
Yeah. Yeah. So staying at 9 for now.
I think it's staying at 9 for me. How would you rate the movie?
I think I gave it 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Okay.
Out of 5. So like good, but not. It was really funny. I think I really just love Biagio.
Yeah.
I think I would rewatch it for that.
Yeah.
It's definitely a rewatchable movie.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's nice.
Yeah, my third time watching it.
But I think I just didn't relate as much as you did.
Sure.
So it wasn't like...
You weren't a teenage boy with angst who wanted to run away from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a little bit of it felt like... I don't know, just... I don't even know. I don't even know how to say it. But like... Yeah, it just wasn't as heartfelt to me, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, to me, there's like that indie magic to it. I also have one parent. I was also an angsty teenager. Yeah. I also tried to run away from home.
You were a boy.
I was a boy. I also mohawked my hair in the shower.
Yeah. I feel like I would like to go through a list of things that Joe did that you also did.
Like now?
Maybe.
I don't know. Okay.
He also stole a car and went through a drive-through.
Oh, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My friend and I went. Say that on a podcast, but
I think my mom knows about it now. Also, I'm 26.
Our moms are going to find out a lot about us on this podcast, maybe.
I don't know. Hi, Mom, if you listen. Sorry if you forgot that me and my friend got in the car at 1 a.m. and went to Taco Bell. Or was it Del Taco? I don't know, one of the California.
Yeah.
I think it was Del Taco.
And they literally did the same thing in this movie.
Yeah.
Stole a car to go to a drive-through.
Right.
But they got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get caught.
So there's one difference between you and Joe. Yeah.
That I'm a better underage driver.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I remember when that happened, by the way, that we like, I think it was my brother took me out on the road, or not on the road, just to an empty parking lot to teach me how to drive. Yeah. Really fun. Yeah. But then I was like, now I know how to drive. And then my friend was sleeping over and I was
that's like,
dude, you want to like, I can drive now. Yeah. And we were like, oh, it was probably the most like illegal, rebellious thing that I've ever done. Yeah. Maybe
it's
not.
Probably
one of the more dangerous things I've done in my life.
Yeah.
Just as a 13-year-old.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Was I 13? No, I must have been 14. 15 at the oldest, but.
Yeah. And that's why you don't teach kids who aren't ready to know how to drive.
Don't teach your kids how to drive until they're 16 or whatever the legal driving age is in your country. Anyways, all that to say, I don't do as many illegal things anymore. I feel like I've grown up and aged and matured to a point where I don't really associate with Joe as often as I used to.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. You ready for some fun facts about the movie?
Okay.
Okay, great.
Always ready for fun facts.
Do you know where the movie took place?
I think Ohio.
It was filmed in Ohio.
Oh.
Oh, wait. Did I get that wrong?
I don't know. I
think it was Ohio. No. I think I got that wrong. I think it was in Ohio, but it was filmed in Cleveland.
That's Ohio.
Oh. Dang it. I'm so stupid.
Either way,
I thought
yes.
I thought Cleveland was on the East Coast.
Cleveland, Ohio.
Isn't that like the? Oh man,
Connecticut.
dang it! Maybe I was thinking of Connecticut. I knew it wasn't its own state. Oh gosh, the California school system really just screwed me over because they never taught geography. So stupid. Okay, so
Okay, blame the school system.
yeah, it's
You probably
California's
ran away
fault.
that day.
It's true. So that's where it was filmed, and I think that's where it was in the story as well.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I don't actually know where it took place in the story, but I think Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, just wanted to shout out the costume designer because every once in a while, Joe was wearing a Cleveland shirt.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Just because it snuck right under your nose.
Yeah, it
That
really
is a
did.
fun fact. Boom. Now you know. Another fun fact. I didn't know this. Nick Offerman, Joe's dad,
Right.
and Patrick's mother.
Okay.
So best friend's mom and main character's dad.
Yeah.
Real life husband and wife.
Really?
Yeah. Her
That's
name's
really funny.
Megan Mullally. And yeah, they're married.
Is she in other things?
I don't know.
Like other
Let's
big
find out right
things,
now.
I guess.
Okay. So it looks like Megan Mullally is in Will and Grace, The Disaster Artist, which we need to go see.
Yes, definitely.
I think we already have plans to go see it.
Yes.
Okay. And then The Umbrella Academy, The Simpsons, Percy Jackson, the TV series.
Oh my gosh.
Bob's
so good.
Burgers, which is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's I want to call it underrated, but it's really popular. But if you haven't tried it, go try Bob's Burgers.
It's underrated in that like almost everyone that I talk to has not seen it.
Yeah, but it's not like the other Fox animated adult cartoons.
You know, I actually saw, I think it was a reel. Someone was talking about like why they like Bob's Burgers. They were saying that most other animated, like adult animated TV shows about families, the family or like the jokes come from the family, like belittling each other.
Oh, okay.
And stuff like that. Whereas Bob's Burgers is way more, they're supporting each other and the
Right.
jokes come from other things.
Yeah,
Which I
that is
thought,
true.
like-
well, I think they do make fun of each other a decent amount, but in like a playful
Yeah.
way. And I
I
don't
think it's more like loving than maybe in other ones.
it is loving. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Anyways.
So that's why you should watch that TV show.
And then you will know more about Megan Mullally. The other thing, I think this is like the second most fun fact. I'm saving the best for last.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So the director, Jordan Vogt-Roberts. So he brought the cast and got them improv lessons.
Oh.
Apparently the cast had not done improv before. So he wanted to get them all like trained in basic improv skills
Okay.
prior to shooting. And it was because he wanted them to kind of do this method acting practice where when they cut, they didn't break character. They were still,
Interesting.
kind of, and I don't think they were very strict about it.
Yeah.
But this is also an interesting thought for being a first time director.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that you would choose to do something so
Yeah.
like,
It's a very intense thing to do.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, I watched an interview about with the main characters and they said that they loved Jordan. Like he just did a great job and you never really know what you're going to get when you get a first time director, but apparently he just killed it. So they were big fans of him. Even, despite and including this interesting choice that he did of getting them improv lessons.
I'm a little surprised that he hasn't directed bigger things. Like King Kong is big,
Right. Yeah.
but just one.
Just one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it takes I don't really know what
mean,
it takes to get a directing role in Hollywood. But
Yeah. I mean, it is
King Kong
hard,
was pretty
but
big.
I'm just surprised that he hasn't made more movies like this.
Yeah. Yeah. So the more fun part about that
Okay.
was that he would then secretly film the actors between takes and just trying to get them
Tricky.
to be like, teenagers.
Yeah.
And he had like a secret code word that the crew knew to tell them to shoot.
Yeah.
And the actors didn't know it,
That's
but he
funny.
knew. And then
Yeah.
apparently a large majority of those takes got into the movie.
Yeah.
So it was something that, and I think again, which is another reason why it was such a naturally good portrayal of the teenage boy experience.
Yeah.
Because I think
They're
a lot of
just
it
being
was
themselves.
they were just being themselves.
It reminds me. So I love that it's a Sundance movie.
Mhm.
And this is like, I think we'll talk about this in a future episode when we talk about Greta Gerwig.
Oh,
and her,
right.
Like early films. But this 2013 was like the end of the mumblecore era, which was very, like, I think you can see it coming out in this movie kind of.
Yeah, I still don't know what mumblecore is.
Mumblecore,
You've talked a lot about it. Maybe
it's a very confusing genre.
Right.
But it basically is
it's a
like,
weird name for it.
Because the point is that they just talk a lot and it doesn't really make sense. And it's very improv and like, it's a very like character driven movie.
Uh-huh.
And the dialogue doesn't matter a ton. It just, I don't know. It's, mumblecore is a little whack. It's like, I don't know. The movies are so weird.
Yeah.
But I think the end of the mumblecore era is really good.
Interesting.
Because they kind of figured it out.
Okay.
And I think this is like, it's not actually a mumblecore film, but it's very influenced by mumblecore, I would say.
Right.
And just like
I agree.
that kind of era of filmmaking.
From what I understand about mumblecore, I could see that.
Yeah. And I think there were a lot of parts in this that reminded me of like my early filmmaking because it was just very improv.
Uh-huh.
And like, I think I had really good actors to work with in high school.
Oh, cool.
Who like knew how to improv.
Wow.
And then we would just like make things together.
That's
you know?
fun. Yeah.
And I think some of the funniest parts of my own films that I made were just like improv things that I didn't write.
That's awesome.
And I feel like there was a lot in that movie that reminded me of that.
Yeah. I remember being so when Marina and I met freshman year of college for film school, I remember you had shown me, we were in your dorm room and we were showing each other like old film projects of ours from high school. I was really impressed with all of yours.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah. I even, not trying to swoon you, like I'm still impressed. I do try to swoon you.
Thank
because
you.
I love you. But that aside.
But you also have to be honest and not lie to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm still impressed with them. I thought they were really cool. I don't know if we've mentioned this on the podcast, but Marina was actually a film festival award winner.
Oh yeah, I guess I was an award winner.
Yeah. And you spoke about a movie or a short film that you made.
Yes, I did.
And you signed an autograph, didn't you?
I don't know. I was interviewed for the news.
For the news?
Yeah.
Wow.
My mom makes fun of me a lot because she always makes fun of me because I went into movies, quote unquote, because I wanted to be behind the camera, which is true, but not really because I was scared necessarily.
Oh, okay. And
but
then
then
you got
every
in front
time
of the
I'm
camera.
in front of the camera, she's like, "Look at you."
In front of the camera.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Shut up, Mom. Stop loving me so much."
And then I ran away.
Just like Patrick's mom.
Yeah.
No, we love your mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Most fun fact.
Okay. So excited.
Are you ready?
I think so.
There is a Marvel style post-credits end scene in this movie.
That we didn't watch?
And we didn't watch it because we turned off the TV while the credits were rolling.
Oh, it's because we were watching it on, or like, what were we watching
some
on?
random
Pluto.
free. Yeah, Pluto.
Yeah. And so there were so many ads, and then the movie ended, and there were a lot of ads,
Yeah.
and then we turned it off because we weren't going to watch.
Well, the way that Pluto is free is that you get like 12 ads in a row every ad break. It's kind of excessive.
And there's a lot of ad breaks.
Yeah.
But we're not complaining because ads mean that we get it for free.
Yes, which was great. So, all of that said, the post-credits scene, which we will go watch right after we end this recording, is of Biagio.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's
kind
it's
of
pretty
like the end of Breaking Bad when you get the whole movie of Jesse.
Oh, and that's like the post-credits
This is how I feel. Like I thought I was done, but now I get redemption.
Yeah, go watch El Camino.
Biagio. Yeah.
Which, man, that is so good. That
I know.
Breaking Bad as a TV series really is one of the most beautiful pieces of art.
It's so good.
Is so great as a TV show. But then it ends great. Ending's fantastic. If you have a high tolerance for gore and stress, I would say Breaking Bad is a top contender for just art that you should watch.
Yeah.
But it gets so much better, because you're tied in and you love the characters and you just know everybody. The movie, which is essentially like a long post-credit scene, it's called El Camino. I don't know if it did really well, on the box office or was really popular because essentially...
Well, I think it just came out on Netflix or something.
It was in theaters.
It was?
Yeah, my brother and I were going to go see it.
Whoa.
But I
It's not even that long.
I know.
Interesting.
But I'm not 100% sure on this, but it was really just hinging on the fact that, you watched all of Breaking Bad so that you can appreciate this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But that movie just really puts a bow on that series.
Does.
It's just so good.
Yeah.
I think it puts your heart at ease in a couple ways that I just really appreciate.
You really end the series on like not a good note.
Right.
Like it's done well, but I was so sad.
Yeah, it's a tragedy.
And then it really is like a little redemption.
Yeah, which is so similar to the ending credit scene of this film. So,
are you being serious?
No, I'm not.
You
it's
have no idea
just
what
funny.
it's about.
I've seen it.
Oh, okay.
But it's just funny. So, anyways, when you watch it, you at home, make sure to skip to the end of the credits, and then I think you will.
Or don't even skip. Just appreciate the credits.
Yeah, just
all of those people made this movie.
All 18 minutes of whoever made that movie.
It's important.
Anyways, I think that's everything for us today. You have anything else to add? Any final thoughts on the movie?
I do.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, well, one thing is we were talking about other movies that we made.
Right.
And we didn't talk about, what's it called? Hadley and Jane.
Oh, no.
It's so good.
Is it good?
No, our movie is not good.
Okay,
this
what I
is
thought.
a 48-hour film festival movie that we made. We had never done a 48-hour film festival before. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
But the similarities, it's so funny because Ethan wrote the script mostly wrote the script.
Right.
Annie and I were just joking about how the night that we started it,
mm-hmm.
we had to write the script and then we were going to shoot in the morning.
Right.
And then Annie and I just gave up and went to bed.
Right.
And then you stayed up and wrote the whole script.
Yeah, because I was really afraid that if we were if we didn't finish that night, then we wouldn't have followed through and finished the movie.
No, it was very good. We just were not in the headspace to do that.
No, so I've never wrote a script before. I just tried it.
But now, watching this movie, it was so funny, the similarities.
I'm pretty sure I plagiarized.
Yeah, but you didn't even know.
I didn't realize that I did so.
It's just so funny. We wrote it's the 8-minute version of this movie. Yeah, so funny.
But it's so
even
bad.
Down though to this movie is the cinematography is so influenced by Terrence Malick with all the nature B-roll.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I was trying to do in Hadley and Jane.
Oh,
and
interesting.
So I added that part.
Wow.
Without even watching this movie.
Yeah.
So I just added to your plagiarizing.
Yeah.
Definitely without knowing it.
Because this is your first time watching the movie.
Yeah.
But man, we tried because we were so excited. I think the movie that we came up with was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Two Sisters?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Hadley and Jane, two sisters. They run away from home because I think their family is abusive.
Yeah.
And then, they make their own place in the woods.
Yeah.
And, we did that because the genre that we pulled, if you've ever done a 48-hour film festival, it's kind of like improv, but for a whole movie.
Yeah.
So you get a genre that you have to make your movie in. So it has to either be horror or comedy. We chose.
You're given two choices, but it's.
Oh, two choices.
Yeah. But it's on a little piece of paper and you're given either a comedy or
a horror movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got of the two choices that we had, ours was a family drama or something like that. So we were what the heck is a family drama? And I guess it was it could just be anything with family.
And we also we only had 2 actors. So we were
oh, right.
Well, whatever it is, it needs to center around 2 girls.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's who we have.
Uh-huh. And then they also give you you have to use this prop and you have to write in this character and you have to
have
fit
a
in
line, I
this
think.
line. Yeah. So there's a couple of those things that you have to kind of use as Easter eggs throughout the film. And you're graded on how well you integrate those things and then also generally how good your movie is.
Yeah.
But it's a short film, so you only have 48 hours to do it. And we just tried to make it the most avant-garde, not traditional.
We went to film school.
Yeah, because I think at this point, we thought we knew what we were doing. We're oh, we could break the boundaries.
Really
this isn't.
artsy.
Yeah, and it sucked so bad.
It was so funny.
But
there's
I'm
a
glad
lot
that
of it that was good.
Oh, really?
I
haven't
so.
seen it.
Yeah,
Marina
Annie
just
and I
recently
just
watched it with her friend Annie,
Yeah.
who I think we'll have on the podcast at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, Annie
But she made it with us. Yeah.
Right. She was the editor for it. And man, I'm glad you thought it was good enough to say that it was good.
Yeah.
Good considering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
all that to say, we did not win anything at that film festival.
And maybe it's because I accidentally plagiarized some parts of the movie.
I knew.
But I think that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you want a free sticker, review our podcast, go to the link in the show notes or on our Instagram, send us a screenshot showing us that you did it, and we will mail you a sticker and a little handwritten note.
Yeah.
It'll be so fun.
Cute.
Our Instagram is Marina's Movie Club.
Yep.
You can follow us on Letterboxd at Movie Club Pod. And until next time, I recommend that you watch this movie.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about it.
Let us know what you think. And remember to stay past the end credits because
always wait for the end credits.
You just always, thanks to Marvel, you always wait in anticipation just in case. Just in case. So with all that, thanks for watching. Love you guys. See you next time.
See ya.